Welcome back, Vicarious viewers. My name is Vicente if this is your first time here, and today I'm reacting to Episode 3 of Legion in its third and final season. If this is your first time here, start from the beginning and watch my Episode 1 and 2 reactions. I'll leave a link for that playlist above. And let's see. In the last episode, we didn't get much. Division 3 had captured one of David's minions, and they were interrogating him about David and his compound, but he wasn't saying much. He was just singing it all, doing his thing. So they put a tracker on him and dropped him out of an airplane, literally. And Lenny got a hold of him, and they wanted to capture Lenny, but Lenny was totally prepared, as cool and confident as she always is. And she was able to get her hands on male Carrie, which separates the Carries, but they're going to use him to boost Switch's power in some way so that she can take David with her through the hallway of time, or time hallway, or the hallway of time sounds better, I think. What else happened? Oh, Switch, of course, explaining her power to David, who's showing more schizophrenia as of late, which is nice. I like him crazy. He should be crazy. And Lenny displaying a level of David's power, which makes me think that at this point she's just kind of an offshoot of him. Like she's one of his rogue personalities that he still has control over. I mean, he can make her go eat something when she's bugging him and won't leave, which would be a nice power to use in certain situations. But beyond that, I don't think much else happened. So let's jump into this episode. Cheers. I don't know if you saw a label or anything. No one's paying me to drink that. I bought it. But everyone wants to pay me to drink beer. I'm up for it. Is this baby David? Back in the past? How old is David? Have they said?
How long have you been gone? Wonder if you're... if I'm even here. Remind me.
Back
How
where?
long have you been gone?
So he wants to go back to his childhood? Maybe? Or is this just some backstory on his life? That's a cool house.
How did we find this place? A dream you made true? Charles, are you still there? Here?
That's some paranoid thoughts.
David.
Which I guess would be justify being married to a telepath like that. Is anything I'm seeing real, or are you just sculpting this all for me? It's gotta be hard to trust in a relationship like that. You gotta have a lot of trust. Which is, I guess, why David is having such bad luck with his relationship, because shatter that trust. How could you ever get it back?
I found someone like me. I'm not alone.
You were alone before?
It's not the right thing to say to your wife.
I won't be long.
You said you weren't sure.
Gabriel, I have to go.
Did he say Gabriel instead of Gabriel? Can a girl be called Gabriel? I thought women were always Gabrielle. Maybe it's a cultural thing. Is he trying to psychically reach out to her in the past? Is it like a ripple in time? A memory she will have? Does he bring her to the future? That's a doorway. I've sometimes wondered what it'd be like to bring someone from 100 years ago to today, and how much they would probably freak out on today's technology. But Switch's doorways don't look like that. Wait, is he making Cerebro? What's the true canon on the creation of Cerebro? Because I always thought Magneto helped him make it, but then in first class it was Hank that really helped, and I guess Magneto helped him construct it, get the metal in place maybe.
I need yours.
He's hearing them all. I see you. Did the Shadow King put him in a catatonic state? Put him in the loony bin?
What a waste.
He's still coherent.
Perhaps move him to 3.
Being sane and coherent in a room full of crazy people. It's like I'm at Walmart. Walmart at 3 in the morning. Oh, he's just meeting her. Or does he already know her? Or is Amal fucking with his head? Now you're both in the loony bin. So she was in there from World War II. Why was he in the loony bin? Okay, so now he's starting to see it. Boy, you are gonna drive your parents crazy. How old is David? She was there from the camps in World War II, and then she wasn't much older when she had David, which would be the 40s? Which would mean if Legion took place today, damn, he'd be well into his almost 70s? When does the show take place? I mean, I guess the mutant gene can give them prolonged life, like slow their aging. Especially with someone as powerful as him, I could see him having a lot of durability, health-wise.
Don't kill yourself.
Practical, yet effective. Maybe he was in the loony bin for his own PTSD. But I mean, in the first season, they even showed him as a kid in like a cop car, and that looked like at least a cop car from the 90s, maybe. Which would have made me think he was born in the 80s, 70s at best. How do they explain this? I mean, unless she had already been in the loony bin for, well, I can imagine at least 10 years. If she was any younger than that, she wouldn't have remembered a lot of it. Which would have been that was in the 50s? Yeah, if she's already been in the loony bin, he's definitely going to drive her crazy. Wonder if this is going to be one of those situations where everything that happened to her happened because of him, because in the spectrum of time, he's already done it, he just hasn't done it yet. Self-fulfilling prophecy and all kind of scenario. See, that kind of cop car, especially with a divider,
Fall in love.
that seems like something they got in like the 80s or 90s.
Will you be content? Will you be like your father? When will you learn the truth that this world is an ugly place?
Maybe that's part of his power. Maybe he's just very slow aging. All that power takes time to develop, so did his body. Or maybe his power slowed down his aging. Like, his view of himself always being young has kept him young longer. So they're there. They went back.
Please, I have to warn her. Switch, do something.
He's gonna think the house is haunted.
Mama, come back.
I thought she could just open the doorway and, like, go through. What was that? And just be in another time. Why are they invisible here? Is it because he's a man? Or she's not strong enough to bring them through fully formed and like, in material form? Because the Shadow King was also saying that he was wondering why all the time travelers were women. Somehow, that because she's bringing a man with her, that she can't do it fully. Just bringing their minds through. But that's totally different from the MCU. I mean, they used a time machine and they all literally went to the past, grabbed things, and came back. Does it depend on the method? So she had the doll. Why would you give that to your kid? That shit's gonna give him nightmares in the future, literally.
This is how they met. My parents in a mental hospital.
She snapped out of it. Maybe it's like a safeguard in the time hallway with her power. The farther she goes back, the less material she is and the less time she can stay, which safeguards from her making drastic changes to the time stream. Kind of a time traveler's checks and balances.
Did you see that when you were in my mind? The tomato that's not an apple?
Oh, she knows. She saw you peeping around in there. Why is he seeing them all? Oh, is David trying to warn them? This is what's coming, beware. I would think a psychiatric hospital at this time would have men and women, like, locked in different wings at night, at least.
There's something
Swallowed my own spit wrong. Is he just putting this in her head? It was literally just nighttime. I mean, he literally could just walk out. He would just make everyone happy that they're leaving. I mean, I guess this could all be David's perception of them as well, just molding what's actually happening. His image of what they were like and what happened. Get out and have a baby. But the architecture and everything is so 50s, at least. Like, if this was mid-50s, that would make him in his 60s right now? Looks good for a 60-year-old.
Why did she give me away?
Because you drove her insane.
Why didn't you love me? What if I pass it on to him and he ends up like me?
He'll be himself.
And a whole lot of other people.
I'll protect you. I think this house is haunted. I hear voices. Maybe it's the sickness coming back. The shadow seems to move.
Why is she watching that? Is she learning Japanese or something?
The devil. Cry louder!
She's like, what the hell? This place definitely is haunted. Oh shit. That's disturbing. He's literally driving her insane.
It was too far.
So you're driving your mother insane. Your father probably thinks you're the Shadow King. You're killing Switch. Calm the fuck down, dude. You're fucking obsessive. See, maybe that's why they gave him up. His mother went insane and couldn't take care of him anymore. And of course, Xavier had to go on and form the X-Men. And now the Shadow King has his doorway. Right behind you, dude. David made his own misfortune.
My beautiful boy.
Wow. So that was all in the past, this whole episode. That flew by really quickly. So, in this one, we got all in the past. I'm guessing 40s, 50s, post-World War II, which makes David really old if the series takes place now. But being powerful, who knows, he could just age really slowly. But even when he was a kid, it was like modern times. Of course, this could still all just be in his head, and this is all just his perception of what the world is to him. But he is thoroughly driving his mother insane, who's already been in the loony bin, so her mind is fully capable of accepting that fact. Xavier, I assume, while he was gone, had his battle and defeated Amal Farouk, which is why he was in his shadow form and was able to possess young David. And he's pushing Switch too far. It's too much for her to handle. And he just wants to go, 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 go. I mean, she's a time traveler. You got time, dude. But that was interesting. I was getting some Tom Hiddleston vibes off of the actor that plays Charles in this. I was like, what's Loki doing here? I mean, it's obviously not the same actor, but interesting choice. I mean, I guess I can kind of see a little bit of facial structure with a young Patrick Stewart, but he's definitely no James McAvoy. Would have been cool if they got James McAvoy. And then Xavier being shown with Cerebro here, it looks like he was building it. I guess they didn't fully go into why Xavier was in the loony bin to begin with, but I imagine the PTSD, because we did have that flashback of him fighting in the trenches. Let me know what you thought about the show in the comments below. What do you think is going on with this whole time difference and everything? But hit like and subscribe if you enjoy reactions like this. Ring that notification bell to find out when my next video drops. And thanks for stopping in for this Vicarious View.